I'm Brian Hooker, the Executive Director of the Jasper Newton Foundation, the community foundation that serves Jasper and Newton Counties in Indiana. Welcome to our first ever digital celebration event. I'm so glad you're here. The Jasper Newton Foundation has hosted an annual celebration banquet since 1993. These events started at the Carnegie Center in Rensselaer, moved to the old Colonial Inn in Kentland, and when they grew large enough, they were hosted as two events at Curtis Creek Country Club for Jasper County and Hazelden Country Club for Newton County, separately celebrating our nonprofit grants in each county. In 2017, I thought it might be a good idea to bring the counties back together, and we've hosted 3 celebration banquets at the Farmhouse Restaurant that brought 2 groups of humans who love where they live in the same room to learn about all the good things that are happening in our communities. Now it's 2020, and it may be the strangest year we've ever lived through together, and you're gathering with us to celebrate from your own homes. Welcome. You are about to hear from local heroes, people in your community who show up every day for you. They come together, reach across boundaries, bridge gaps, make connections, meet needs, and break down barriers to create the communities that you live in. You will also hear from our Lilly Scholars and will be inspired by their joy and dreams for the future. The nonprofits you will hear from are spreading love and kindness and will show us all the power of a small community.
Hi, I'm Deb Arsenault. I'm with Purdue Extension in Newton County, and I am the Health and Human Sciences educator. The Student Leadership Academy actually came about as an outcome from our community leadership program through Purdue Extension. We started the program in 2017, and the adults in that program had to do a class project. And some of them were enjoying it so much that they thought, hey, we need to do this for our youth as well. And so one of the class projects was to actually develop the Student Leadership Academy. The Student Leadership Academy is a great program. We have been reaching the students that are going from their junior year into their senior year. So we meet for 1 week in June normally, and our committee puts together a lot of different sessions that can really help the kids to build leadership skills and to learn about their community and more about themselves. We work with the Real Colors program where they learn about their personalities and how to work with others. We learn about resumes where they actually develop and create their own resume. And then they also get to participate in mock interviews with several community leaders from Newton County. And so that's always a great experience for them as they get to participate and observe at least 5 different interviews. We try to have a lot of fun with our group as well. And the fun thing is that it is kids coming together from both North and South Newton schools. And so that's a nice opportunity for kids to work together in a cooperative environment instead of a competition. The Jasper Newton Foundation has a wonderful history of helping the communities, and we're so fortunate to have them. They support the community, volunteerism, and leadership. 3 things that we really try to get the kids to understand and to learn about. So the foundation was a natural choice to look to for funding. Partnerships that we have developed through this program have been one of the greatest things. We have people from all walks of life. We've had the media involved. We've had local businesses involved, the libraries. So we've really reached a lot of local people in our community and reached out to Purdue Extension as well and Purdue University. We were really excited when the interviewing program brings in influential community members throughout the county, and the kids really enjoy that. They enjoy making those connections. We hope that the Student Leadership Academy is making an impact across the community and the county. Several of the students comment on specifically how they want to take this back to their schools so that they can get other students involved and share the information with other students and to make their own school and community stronger. I think we are making an impact. I think the students do gain a lot from it. Their comments on evaluations are always positive, and I believe they find it to be a rewarding and helpful experience.
My name is Irvin, Latta, and I represent the Brook Civic Foundation Fund. Brook Grade and High School was created in about 1902, 1903, and 22 years later, they built the first Brook School and expanded it into about 1925 into what we all knew and loved as our Brook Community High School and Grade School. The last graduating class was 1966. So the year of 1967, they consolidated into what is now South Newton High School and Grade School. The Brook Gymnasium was built 10 years after the school was built. So in 1935, they built the Brook Collier Gymnasium and auditorium. And it's been with us ever since. And a couple of years ago, when I went back to an annual banquet for alumni, I discovered that there's a possibility, perhaps in the future, that gymnasium that we all grew up in and loved could be torn down. And there were some various reasons for that. I had discovered a couple of years ago is that the Collier Gymnasium and Auditorium is now under the ownership of the town of Brook. After the high school consolidated, then the town of Brook took over the title of the building. Over the course of the years, they had slowly turned it into what they considered their civic center. And they grew to love it and use it extensively. But as it turns out, the reason the civic center is still today in such good shape is because of the fees that they receive from the local landfill just outside of town. And if it wasn't for those fees, I'm of the understanding is that the town of Brook probably could not afford to continue to maintain that facility of theirs and what is now their civic center or community center. So we decided, well, what happens when that landfill disbands or stops operation or for some reason has to decease? Then the fees would no longer come to the town of Brook for the purpose that they use them for. So we decided a couple years ago as to why not put together a foundation that would raise money and have it grow over a course of time. And then at one point in the future, every year, they would give back in the form of a grant to the town of Brook, amount of money that we hope would be equal to what they spend currently, so that they can continue to operate that facility. The day that we visited the town board and explained to them what it was we wanted to do and how we wanted to create our foundation, they embraced it wholeheartedly from the very beginning. The Brook Civic Foundation, of course, was created to preserve and protect the old Brook Gymnasium and Auditorium. But in the future, sometime 25, 30, 50 years from now, it'll continue to live on to support the community in other ways besides that building. And that is the part of the legacy that'll be left behind for the alumni and the citizens of the community today for the citizens of the community of tomorrow.
I am Bobby Jo Salmons, and I am the president of Rensselaer Main Street Incorporated. Main Street Rensselaer had this idea to put a mural on the wall at Potawatomi Park. So that riverfront mural was discussed for several years. We looked at the proposals that were on the table with the downtown revitalization plan for the city of Rensselaer. The wall was to be painted in that plan, as well as the Parks for People campaign that was improving all the parks. We connected with business owner Ryan Mush, and he connected with Cameron Moberg, who is just a phenomenal artist and has done projects across the United States. Cameron curated the whole initiative. The Main Street Committee decided that we wanted to ask for a grant from Jasper Newton Foundation. The funding that we received from Jasper Newton Foundation, as well as the other entities, made it possible for us to get that riverfront mural completed. So with the process of the art murals being painted, Cameron held an evening for the community members to come And after a small talk about spray painting and how to do it the best way, Cameron allowed community members, and there were between 60 to 70 people that showed up to spray paint on the wall. After everyone had a chance to paint, Cameron turned it into a wall of butterflies. And if you haven't seen it, you need to walk down and check it out because it was truly amazing. Our Visit Rensselaer Facebook page had over 70,000 engagements about the murals last summer. And so we are touching so many people outside of Rensselaer. Main Street Rensselaer truly wants to thank Jasper Newton Foundation, as well as the Prairie Arts Council and the Jasper County Tourism, City of Rensselaer, the mayor, and the workers that helped with everything. You know, I'm excited to see where it goes in the future, but it definitely surpassed all of our wildest dreams of having the murals started on that riverfront wall. But Jasper Foundation was absolutely instrumental in making all of that happen.
My name is Chrissy Wright, and I am the director of the Brook Public Library. The project that we applied for with this grant is called A Library of Things. And basically, it is a collection of items that you normally would not see in a library. Everything from, karaoke machines to Instapots to an 8-foot ladder, a lot of random physical items that our goal is will help meet patron needs. So I work with the public on a daily basis, and I collaborate with local officials and school leaders, and every day I see needs in the community. And part of my job is traveling and networking with directors from across the country. And I hear of all these awesome things that are happening in big cities. And I think it was a director in Texas was talking about how, they had some families that were getting citations because they weren't mowing their grass, and come to find out they couldn't afford a lawnmower. And so I come back to my desk after all these travels, and I sit and I think, okay, how can I take this awesome idea from like this huge city in Texas and bridge the gap and make it possible for Brook, Indiana? And I've had this idea rolling around in my mind for about 3 years now, and I think we finally got all the kinks worked out, hopefully, and I'm excited to bring this to Brook. I knew to reach out to the Jasper Newton Foundation because the Jasper Newton Foundation is amazing. I've had the pleasure of working with them on several projects in the past, and I feel that their core fundamentals mirror the goals that I have for my library. We're striving to meet needs and create opportunities in our community by breaking down barriers like funding and rural location. The Jasper Newton Foundation has an amazing network of resources that's unlike any other in our area, and I love that they share that with organizations like mine because it really helps me provide for my community. Unfortunately, we haven't had a chance to unroll this program to the community yet, but we are really hoping that it will help us create new partnerships in the community. One of the things I'm hoping it will do is it will help us reach a whole group of patrons that are underserved. So people that don't even have a library card yet. Hopefully this will start offering something that intrigues them, and it will draw them in and make them start using the library. I also hope that we'll be able to connect with the schools and other educational institutions in the county, because part of the Library of Things, it offers like coding robots and a whole bunch of fun educational technology that a lot of people can't get their hands on. Another group I hope to connect with will be healthcare providers in the nursing homes in the community, because we're offering dementia kits, which are specially curated bags of goodies and equipment to work with dementia and Alzheimer's patients. So we are so grateful to have this grant opportunity because I feel like it furthers our mission with the Brook Public Library. I sincerely hope that this project will help foster creativity, community togetherness, and educational opportunities, and simply make people's lives easier. That's the entire goal for our library in general. And I truly believe the Library of Things is going to just blow that wide open and offer resources that people have never dreamed the library could offer. I hope it changes people's perspective of what a library is, And I hope they consider us an essential part of the community and a valuable resource that truly cares about its patrons. I think the Library of Things collection is going to be a turning point for the future of our library.
I'm David Myers. I am with the Wheatfield Volunteer Fire Department. I am the president of the fire department, and right now I'm serving as a lieutenant for one of our stations. We had a frontline tanker that served at one of our stations. That's the first station to respond to DeMott when they need a water supply, extra water supply. And it was a 1981 Peterbilt. It was an old truck, obviously by the date, but it was starting to have a lot of mechanical failures. The brakes on it, you would need a country mile to get that thing to slow down and come to a stop sign. And we have to have them because we are a rural fire department. We serve a rural community. And so we don't have any fire hydrants. The city department would have to be able to get water to their fire load. So we have to take the water with us wherever we go. And our tankers go in 3 townships, Wheatfield, Walker, and Kankakee townships, as well as the town of Wheatfield. And then we serve mutual aid with the surrounding departments. Keener Township, DeMott is one of them. To the north, Couts, east, St. Pierre, south, Rensselaer. And so large amount of the time, whenever they call for mutual aid, they're calling for the water because they are also rural communities. So the Wheatfield Volunteer Fire Department decided to reach out to Jasper and Newton Foundation because we were in need of finding ways to finance and make a purchase of a new tanker. We had conversations with townships, with trustees, and so to no avail, we went ahead and we reached out to Jasper Newton Foundation and wrote a grant with them. I think for the first time in over 20 years, we were all in the same room, all the stakeholders, all the elected officials of Wheatfield, and the relationships are only enhancing and growing every day now in Wheatfield because of what we started here with Jasper Newton Foundation. Once we received the grant dollars from Jasper Newton Foundation, we were able to put that as a down payment on the truck. Wheatfield Volunteer Fire Department, its members decided to add a little bit more to that down payment so that we could finance the truck in a very feasible, very doable way. It is a 3,000-gallon Freightliner 2019 chassis poly tank. It was made and designed so that some of our older firefighters, which are typically the drivers of that kind of an apparatus, a tanker, can do everything from the driver's seat. On a cold night, they don't have to get out of the cab. They can dump the water from the cab. They have a camera access to the rear of the truck so they can see the water coming out. And it has heat and air conditioning. So in these crazy, uncertain, unprecedented times, the Wheatfield Volunteer Fire Department is able to spread some cheer and spread love like I've never seen before. We have taken part in, I think we're going to have over 30 birthday parades since we started in the middle of April. And that truck has been a part of all of those birthday parades. And it's just really cool to see what a small community can do for others. And I'm getting a bit emotional with this, but I wanted to share this. This truck, my dad passed away April 2018, and he was a volunteer firefighter for Wheatfield for 30 years. And my uncle does it, my cousin does it, now my nephew is a cadet doing it. So emergency responding really is a part of the Myers family, a part of the Myers name. And so when this truck came in, I wrote a letter to the department asking that we be able to honor my dad with that. And so the department, the membership voted, I believe unanimously, to put my dad's name on the side of that truck. So it says in honor of Greg Myers on the side, on both sides. And so when I think of Wheatfield, and when I think of Wheatfield Volunteer Fire Department, it's all heart. And we're all there for the community. And it shows whether you're in distress because you need us for fire and rescue services, or you just want to celebrate a birthday, or you just want to spread love. This department and this community does just that. And sometimes you need a fire truck to do that.
Hello, my name is Loretta Wernert, and I am representing the Newton County 4-H Building Committee. We have several ladies that serve on our 4-H Building Committee. We have Sue Frishy. She has been kind of our person that keeps us moving and lots of thoughts and ideas. Pam Lotta, Lindsay Cragen, Maureen Dino, Janet Sickler, and Amanda Berenda. Those are our members. So we applied for funds to help finish the interior of our new 4-H building that is at the Newton County Fairgrounds. The building was built in 2017 and it was completed in time for the Newton County 4-H Fair, but largely the interior of the building is unfinished. So we built the new 4-H building on the Newton County Fairgrounds in the hopes that this would obviously be a better place for 4-H exhibits and for the extension staff during the fair, but also that it is a resource for our community. So when we reached out to the foundation to ask for a matching grant, I believe it was to help, it was to match an estimated cost for finishing the interior. And the foundation agreed to offer $33,500 if we could raise that identical amount in funds for a total of $67,000 towards our construction for the interior of our building. Last year we started with, we partnered with the Kentland Rotary for a pancake breakfast to start fundraising endeavors again. And through this, just an incredible community support through individuals and businesses. And then we also received support from both Jefferson and Colfax townships, as well as the Newton County Economic Development Committee. The Newton County Fair Board has also been very instrumental in helping us with advice through this construction process. So we want to thank those gentlemen for their words of wisdom to us. The help we received through the foundation has really allowed us to move forward in our construction process. We see the building as a great place for our community to gather, and I just want to say that all the support we've received through our own community and through the foundation has truly proved that our community loves where we live. And so thank you very much for supporting our project.
My name is Margaret Schreier. I'm the director at Growing Patch Learning Center, and I am also an employee of Right Steps Child Development Centers, and I have been the director since October. We had applied last year to get some funds to be able to do a center-wide training on a creative curriculum so that everybody in the building would be able to provide the same curriculum to all of the students birth to age 5. And then we also use the additional funds to be able to purchase some equipment for the students. In general, we want the whole center to be able to follow the same curriculum so that everyone kind of has a scope and sequence of where they're going and what they're doing. And it's kind of like, when I say scope and sequence, it's like kind of a roadmap. So it kind of guides the teachers in developmentally appropriateness, expectations of the students, and what we can be providing the students as far as educational opportunities. If you get somebody who came from maybe another center or had different education experience, maybe they came from another background, which we all do. We all come from different backgrounds. But the point is that we all come together in a unified way so that we're all approaching education in that building the same way, so that all of the students have the same expectation of us, which allows them to then be more comfortable in their environment, which is where learning occurs. Growing Patch Learning Center is the only licensed childcare facility in the county, which is huge. And we have recently teamed up with Right Steps Child Development Centers as our overarching administration, I think is a good way to put it. And that is also huge because we're teaming up with a bigger organization who has 5 other centers, and that allows us to provide a lot to the staff. The child is continually learning upon previous experiences and testing their environment and being exposed to different language models when they're in a early childhood education of quality. And I know I taught in an elementary school, and it means a lot when you have a student walk in ready for kindergarten who's been in an early childhood education setting, and as opposed to one that hasn't, because we're expecting a lot out of kindergartners now. And I believe that it's huge to be able to offer this back to the community, because every child deserves to go to a quality early childhood education center. That is huge.
Hi, I'm Maureen Inman, and I have accepted a director position with Goodland Child Care Center, which will be run by Right Steps out of Lafayette, Indiana. So the way this kind of came about was there's no licensed childcare in Newton County, and hasn't been for quite some time. There's always been a lot of talk about the need, but it kind of got kickstarted when the Child Care Resource and Referral Program attended Newton County Step Ahead, and had some discussion about getting licensing daycares that are here in the county licensed, and building that for families. The Newton County Child Care Initiative was formed at the very first meeting that we had. Right Steps, Purdue Extension, Newton County Community Services, Jasper Newton Foundation, Child Care Resource and Referral Network, Newton County Economic Development, some county officials, and Head Start all gathered to discuss the need for licensed daycare and quality daycare for families. So as with any business, there's a lot of startup cost. And so a licensed child care center has got to have, first of all, be licensed. And so there was a building that was kind of perfect fit for the daycare to come in. And moving forward, our local county officials have been very helpful in giving us the startup funds to actually get that first year taken care of. So back in the beginning of this project, Newton Jasper Foundation created a survey to gather information so that we would be able to show the need and truly know, if we would have some families that need this service and create a waiting list. And so the Goodland site will house 28 children. There will be a 3 to 5 year old room, and there will be a infant toddler room, 20 3 to 5 year olds and 8 infant toddlers. So we do already have a waiting list established, and we potentially will be filling those seats immediately and maintaining the waiting list for when those children move on. Another exciting point is that we'll be able to accept child care vouchers, which will be very helpful for families that have that need, that are working and or going to school.
Hello, I'm Ashley Churchill, and I'm the Newton County Lilly Endowment Scholar for 2020. So a year ago, I decided to apply for the Lilly Scholarship because I was looking at smaller private schools, and I wanted to have a bigger opportunity to pay for those schools and have other opportunities throughout my college experience. So that was why I chose to apply for this scholarship. So now that I found out that I got the Lilly Endowment, I have been able to go to Butler. So I will be attending Butler University in the fall to study elementary ed. I am super excited. The biggest thing is I hope to step out of my comfort zone a little bit. So I'm from this small area, but I'm going to such a big city, but also the school's so small. So it's a great in-between for me. As a Lilly Scholar, I get my full tuition paid for any school in Indiana. And then they also give me a $900 book stipend. And a lot of colleges also add to that. So on top of the Lilly Endowment paying my tuition, at Butler, they're paying for my housing. So the opportunity for this, financially for our family, is huge. It opens up so much for us because, first of all, I'm going to go into my big girl job without any debt. This is such a huge opportunity for me. I don't have to, a lot of people go into their first job thinking, well, I'm going to have to find a way to pay for this. and pay their debt off. But I don't have to have that. So even if my job the first time isn't a great paycheck, maybe that's okay because it could be experience and I don't have to worry about that. So for my family especially, there's 3 girls in my family that all are pretty close to the age. So for 1 year, my parents would have to pay for all 3 of us at once in college. So this is such a huge opportunity for us because it takes one of them off of their paycheck. So I decided to study elementary education because of my first grade teacher. Her name was Mrs. Dolphin. I loved her. She made school so much fun. There was always, every day, I just looked forward. She always had a smile on her face. Whether it was a good day or a bad day, she always had something inspiring to say. Her lessons were always so powerful, but at the same time, she let us be ourselves in her classroom. And I think about her every time I step into a classroom. I realized throughout filling out this scholarship and the interview, there's so many people in this county and around here that want to help out. I didn't know all of the resources we had until I started filling this out. And so many people offered, oh, do you want to do a mock interview with me? Do you want me to read over your essay? So many people. So I definitely have to say that the people, they're my favorite. Being able to go from the high school and just driving a short 10 minutes, I could go to the grade school, and it's such a small school. There's so many great people. Those are my favorite things about Newton County.
My name is Sarah Monosmith, and I am the 2020 Jasper County Lilly Endowment Community Scholar. I decided to apply for the Lilly Endowment Community Scholarship because I looked up to so many older kids when I was little. They were the top of their class. They always excelled in academics. And at church, they always roped in the younger kids and were involved with them. And they were all around great people and great leaders, young leaders in the community. So when I was younger, I looked up to those older kids. And they were the same older kids that applied for the Lilly Endowment Community Scholarship and received this scholarship. I love everything about Rensselaer and Jasper County. It's hard to narrow down some of the top reasons why I love where I live, but I definitely love how engaging everybody is in the community. So I've had a lot of time to think over what are some things that I would tell younger students or tell my younger self if I knew now, if I would know then what I know now. And so I think there's 3 little nuggets that I would share. One would be to always be yourself, because high school, you go in at 14 years old and you come out at 18, and there's a lot of time for change and a lot of pressure to conform to what others want and what you think others want. But in reality, we all have our own unique purpose and plan and path, and you have to stay pretty true to yourself through that. So that'd be the first little thing I would say. The second thing would be soak up everything, every memory, every experience, take it all in. And the third little thing I would advise younger students would be to always be kind. You can never show enough kindness and enough love to other people. And you never know how much that kindness can affect that person, even if it's a smile, genuinely asking, hi, how are you? How are you doing? Holding the door open. Even the little things are super important. And a little kindness goes a long way. It's the butterfly effect. If I show 10 people a little more kindness and love, then they show that 10 people more kindness and love, and pretty soon the world's a better place because we all started with a little love and kindness. So I just wanted to thank everybody that supported me on this journey, my parents, my friends, my family. Thank the Jasper Newton Foundation and the Lilly Endowment Community Scholarship Committee for selecting me as the 2020 Jasper County Lilly Endowment Community Scholar. And I wanted to thank everybody in Rensselaer for being awesome community members and for always loving where we live.
We are so lucky. We have a community full of humans who change the world each day for the better. I hope you are inspired every day to love where you live and find ways to show it. Please visit our website at jaspernewtonfoundation.org to stay up to date on ways you can plug into your community. There are plenty of opportunities throughout the year to bridge the gap for local nonprofit organizations that serve all of us. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Jasper Newton Foundation, we thank you for joining us as we celebrate our community that loves where they live.